What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I've got a pretty good little news article for you guys today, but before we get into that, I've got a clip from Tom Homan, and I've talked about him over the past couple of days. We've been seeing the cabinet members and administration officials. Donald Trump's been picking these people, and he's been doing pretty dang good. Elise Stefanik is the UN envoy. Tom Homan's going to be the border czar. It's looking like Stephen Miller is going to be not Stephen Miller. Kristi Noem is going to be the DHS secretary, the Department of Homeland Security. Kristi Noem. Oh my goodness, that's great. I wish, hopefully, Kari Lake can find herself in that administration, because she just lost, y'all, and that's just absurd to me. I really thought Kari Lake was going to win. It's absurd that she didn't win, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. There's a lot of funny business that goes on in Arizona, but, I mean, it is what it is. That's all I'm going to say on that one, y'all. That is all I'm going to say. But Tom Homan just did an interview on Fox News and absolutely demolished the Biden administration. Check this out, y'all.
And he got to stop sanctuary cities. Both times the Democrats stopped every time he went forward, they gum you up in court. You don't have to give it away, but is there a plan if sanctuary cities, these city councils don't allow the sanctuary cities to go away? Is there a plan B you have?
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE, because, you know, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should work with law enforcement. But, you know, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, you know, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, because we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send to New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in the jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you're going to release these bad guys, out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, you know, and bottom line is, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And the left keeps saying, well, we want victims and witnesses of a crime to feel safe, come to the police department knowing we don't work for life. Let me make one thing clear. That's just a stone cold lie. Victims and witnesses of a crime does not want the bad guy back in their neighborhood.
That's true.
Yeah. Certainly.
Now, that's what the hell I'm talking about right there. A no-nonsense kind of guy that's going to come in and say, look, you sanctuary cities, if you don't want to help, get the hell out of the way, because we're going to do our job. You're on federal land. Yeah, you might be a state, but guess what? You're not going to stop us from doing our damn job. These people are absurd. Talking about, oh, we want sanctuary cities. We want the victims to feel safe. Well, it's sanctuary cities. That's where these criminal aliens are going to go. And, you know, mixed in with all those criminal aliens are criminals. As a matter of fact, we covered that article. I talked about it in the last video, where there's like 60-something thousand known murderers in the country right now that Joe Biden has allowed into this country. That lawsuit against the sanctuary cities is going to be fired right back up, folks. Oh, man, I love these no-nonsense people coming in for Donald Trump, right? I understand. Hey, look, I saw an article, I almost covered it, talking about, oh, but these people advocate for family separation. Yes, as a matter of fact, we do, and I've explained that several times on this channel. Look, we've got a human trafficking problem, right? And the Biden administration has lost up to 300,000 children during his administration. That's absurd. It's obscene to me. It makes me sick to my stomach to find out that the Biden administration, people within his administration, not Joe Biden himself, of course, but people within his administration were giving these kids, just so they wouldn't be in cages, right? We're giving these kids to foster parents, to known gang members, known MS-13 gang members and other gangs, local gangs, knowingly give these kids out and then conveniently lost track of them. That's obscene. Just outright. We can't run our country like this. It's absurd. Just on its face, it's absurd. And I love these no-nonsense people. Yeah, no, we're going to sue these people for doing this. We are going to hold these people to account. They can't just get away with breaking federal law and think just because they're the federal government, they can get away with it. No, I'm sorry. That's not how this is going to work, folks. That is not how this is going to work whatsoever, and I am loving this. Finally, some no-nonsense. Just get in there, do your damn job, follow the letter of the law. Love it. The family separation thing. Let me get back to that, because like I said, that is a good idea. The left cries foul over the family separation thing, but like Tom Homan said in a I forget it. I think it was Judiciary Committee hearing. AOC was questioning him about this. And he says, hey, look, if you're driving down the road with your kids and you're drinking and driving and you get pulled over, you get arrested, we're taking your kids from you. You don't leave with your kids. You're going to jail and they are not. Right? So it's almost like they're advocating for these kids to go to jail with the parents. But that's what happens when you come across our southern border illegally. But it's mostly because children are getting trafficked into abusive situations, right? You get a couple of people coming across that southern border, they've got some kids with them. Yeah, we're going to separate these people. And we're going to ask these kids, is this your parents? Blah, 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 blah. And figure out if they are being trafficked or not. That's what the left is fighting against, because they have a problem they can run on. They can say, oh, we can just say it's family separation and make Republicans look evil. We can make Donald Trump look like a fascist because of this. All while at the same time, like, if they stop that practice, now you're allowing kids to be trafficked into abusive situations. Sure, it might be inconvenient for the families to be separated for 24, 48 hours, however long it takes. You know, it's not going to be that long. It's not going to be beyond 72 hours. Right? 48 hours, I believe, is the max. I think. I'd have to get my numbers right on that one, but I think that's the max. So you mean to tell me you come across our border illegally and you expect to just stay together and just for us to release you and just go on about your business? Knowing that there is a significant child trafficking problem on that southern border? No, I'm sorry. It only makes sense to take these people, pull them to the side, separate them, figure out if they're being trafficked. And if they are, lock these people up and then find good care for these kids. And don't give them out to MS-13 gang members, for crying out loud, like the Biden administration knowingly did. That's the absurd part. I could see accidentally doing this. You know, sure, still we need accountability for that, but knowingly did? Yeah, I'm sorry. Those people need to go to jail. They need to serve prison time for knowingly giving these kids out to known gang members. I'm sorry. That's just absurd to me. But let's get into the news article, because I've got a pretty good one here, folks. Has to do with censorship, y'all. Censorship. Check this out. Jim Jordan demands information on possible FBI censorship of Biden influence peddling story. That's right. That makes you kind of question, but there's some background information here. Check this out. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan on Tuesday sent a letter to FBI Director Christopher Wray demanding information about a tool that the Bureau allegedly uses to monitor and help censor Americans' social media posts. Imagine that. So, RFK Jr. and several states, led by West Virginia, I do believe, sued the Biden administration for having backdoor access to social media and censoring Americans' political speech, not just political speech, but just speech outright in general. Yeah, censoring Americans, having people banned from these social media platforms, deleting their posts, having people shadow banned, and all the like. Yes, They sued we had to sue to stop the Biden administration from doing this. And now come to find out, they have a tool that they can just monitor all this stuff in the background. This is absurd, y'all. In particular, Jordan raised concerns about possible pre-bunking of a true story concerning the Biden family's influence peddling ahead of the 2020 presidential election, talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story. Jordan highlighted testimony from an FBI Criminal Investigative Division analyst previously assigned to the Foreign Influence Task Force, who claimed the task force was allegedly coordinating with social media companies leading up to the 2024 election to monitor and flag social media posts, both by American citizens and foreign actors, indicative of potential criminal conduct. Now, they were supposed to have stopped doing this, and I speculated for a while. I kind of wonder if they stopped. Come to find out, it doesn't seem like they have. But we're going to get more information on this. But, leave it to the FBI, right? Who thinks that the federal government was actually going to stop? They have this portal, backdoor access to social media companies where they can monitor people's posts. They can go look at all this stuff, get all the background analytics and all that good jargon. And then they have access to the social media moderators themselves, where they can say, hey, I think this might violate their community guidelines. Why don't you look at deleting this post or banning this person outright? And so they do. And this was all laid out to bear for everybody to see with the Twitter files. And come to find out, Donald Trump actually had somebody banned from Twitter. I believe it was banned or a post. No, it was a post deleted. Yeah, Donald Trump won. And Joe Biden is responsible for thousands. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Just leave it to Joe Biden to violate Americans' First Amendment rights on a vast scale. It's absurd. The FBI allegedly used software tools to search open source databases for the social media posts. Although the analyst testified that the FBI uses this tool to pursue criminal conduct, when questioned about the nature of the software tool and the scope of the FBI's use of it, agency counsel reportedly prevented the analyst from fully answering the committee's questions, Jordan wrote. Therefore, we write to obtain additional information in order to understand whether the FBI has or could use this software tool to censor or infringe upon lawful speech, particularly Americans' political speech. The chairman requested a briefing on the agency's use of the tool by November 26th. Now, I imagine that November 26th date is going to get pushed back. Yep, they're not going to comply with that. They're going to hold out as long as they possibly can. And once the Trump administration comes in, we're going to get access to all this. We get a new FBI director, we're going to get access to all this, and we're going to find out if they were actually just going in there and deleting people's posts, blah, 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 blah. You get it. They say it's to monitor criminal conduct. Well, you know what? If you think about that logically, to monitor criminal conduct, somebody has to be a suspicious person. So that means a suspicious person can be anybody, as a matter of fact. We know that. We're not idiots here. We know when we get pulled over for no reason whatsoever, the cop will say, oh, well, you look suspicious or something like that. Happened to me several times. That's all they got to do is say, oh, they look suspicious. So how do we know these posts aren't getting monitored by the FBI? Oh, well, come to find out there was no criminal activity here. And how do we know we don't get some deranged anti-Trumper in the FBI? Like, oh, well, this is a suspicious person. This is disinformation. Hey, call up the, whatever social media platform. Hey, this is misinformation. Why don't you ban this person or something? This is what these people do, censoring our speech. Now, obviously, we don't want people just flooding the social media platforms with mis and disinformation, clearly, right? We don't like that. We don't like lies. But you know what? To hold our government to account is to question our government. And sometimes we get stuff wrong. But, these people just, knows no bounds. Like, the internet is one of the greatest and worst inventions in human history, as a matter of fact, because it's great because now we can monitor the government for suspicious activity, but they can also monitor us for suspicious activity. We can get lied to on a vast scale, but we can also find out that, hey, the government has been violating your First Amendment rights. Not to mention porn and all this other garbage that just fills up the internet that we don't like. But I think I've made my point quite clear on this one. Hey, you guys, do me a big favor. Smash that like button for me. Please don't forget to do that. And if you're new around here, do me a big favor and smash that subscribe button. I really need your help, y'all. I'm trying to grow the channel. As you can see, I'm doing my thing out here. But, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Is it a good thing that they're going to fire back up that family separation program so we can figure out if these children are being trafficked? And do you think it's a good thing that the FBI has tools that they could possibly use to censor your speech? Possibly. Allegedly. Like I always say. Allegedly. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.